Hi, this is Michael Mullaney from Sencha. I'm here today to run you through about a 7-minute overview of Sencha Touch, our new application framework. Sencha Touch is a framework that allows you to build applications for touch devices. In the initial release, we're supporting Apple iOS, which means iPad, iPod Touch, and iPhone, as well as Android. So what you see here is a kitchen sink application. It's running on my desktop iPad simulator, and we have all our user interface elements laid out in it. We have all our animations, we have our event management, and we have our data packages. So let's get started on the user interface. And as you can see, this is obviously running in a browser. We provide basic buttons for you, about 52 different types of buttons. These are all done in CSS3. You can set gradient, opacity, shadow, etc., on these buttons, so they're fully themable. We also provide a full form element set for you, so not only the standard selectors and combo boxes, but also some custom elements as well. So for example, this is a slider with a nice big button that's good for fingers to drag, and full-on toggle switches as well. We provide a built-in list component. This is a fancy version of the list component. It has a couple things going on for it. The first is that it actually has momentum scrolling, as you might expect. The second thing is that it has swappable headers. So if you see the D swapping into the E quite nicely at the top, that's behavior you don't have to duplicate. And we also give you an index scroll. So if you want to quickly run through a long list of items, you can do so with an index scroll. And this is all customizable. This just happens to be an alphabetical address list. So icons. We ship a pretty rich set of icons by default. These are pretty much the only images in the library. And we handle highlighting of these icons just through CSS. These are not actually separate images swapping in and out. These are bitmaps, so they can scale up and down a little bit. If you want super zooming, you'll probably have to build your own SVGs. We provide toolbars. So here's a toolbar on the bottom of the screen. You can style and restyle all these buttons using Sass, which is an overlay on top of CSS. And this is a segmented button, for example, so only one of these buttons are accessible or are selectable at once. The source for all these elements is very, very simple. You simply just declare a variable, add some text, add some properties, and you have it. And what you're looking at here when I go to the source window is simply an overlay window that's built into the library as well. So one of the really popular layouts for touch devices, particularly iPads, is carousel layout for flipping through, for example, multiple albums or multiple products in a browsable interface. And we provide that to you. As you can see at the bottom, you have an indicator that tells you where you are. You can actually get rid of this and have just an infinite carousel if you want to as well, that pulls in new data as you go along with Ajax. We provide tabs. Here are some classic tabs on the top. When you tab through them, they change content. These are actually also movable as well, so you can reorder these as you want. When you dock a tab panel to the bottom of a screen, they'll automatically change into a toolbar style. Here at the bottom, you'll see that we have a couple of different types of tab headings. They have badge text. The badge text is simply a property on that icon, so you don't have to actually create new images or new CSS overlays to put in badge text. We ship a default map element. As you might expect, you just declare it with a tiny bit of source code. Xtype equals map inside a panel. But we support multi-touch so that you can actually pinch and zoom and spread if inside the map component. You've seen the overlay before. This is pretty straightforward. So those are the UI widgets that we're shipping by default. We have a couple others that are not in the kitchen sink yet, and since this is beta 1, we're not quite finished developing them. Because we're targeting WebKit-based browsers, we can provide CSS animations and transitions. So here we can provide a simple slide. You can slide up, down, left, and right. You can have different types of slide. You can actually slide over or you can slide under the existing content. We also support simple transitions, so you can pop, for example, and that works on the iPhone OS and Android. You can fade. Flips and other 3D transformations are only available on the iPad right now, but we anticipate that it will also be available on Android as they catch up to CSS3 as well. And you can also see the cube. You can do a cube transform in multiple directions as well, but it tends to be a little distracting for the user. But if we haven't mentioned, this actual side navigation here is a separately scrollable area with momentum scrolling as well. And that's fairly trivial to create. And in fact, if I actually rotate the simulator, it will reflow, and the navigation sidebar automatically turns into a pop-up menu. So we'll actually slide this. So very simple. We cover events as well. So one of the things we give you on top of raw JavaScript is a set of events that make sense. So for example, we can give you a simple tap, and you can look down here in this window to see what we have. We can give you a swipe. We can give you a scroll. We can give you a double tap. And we can also give you a pinch. There's a full data package with Sencha Touch. We ship JSON-P, WIPL, and regular old AJAX and JSON calls and XML calls. JSON-P is pretty simple. This is just pulling in a weather forecast. The data package is fairly self-explanatory. It's changed a little bit from XJS, but not much. And that's the overview of the kitchen sink. This is just about 80% of what we're shipping in the initial beta in terms of interface and user interface components. So check us out at Sencha.com. You can download the beta, check it out, check out the full application demos, and give us your feedback. We hope you enjoy it.